A black woman driving a $70,000 Mercedes at midnight. Stolen vehicle has to be. Officer Blake Horton snatches the registration from Sarah Nelson's hand, doesn't read it, crumples it, throws it onto the shoulder of Interstate 85. Out of the vehicle, hands up. She complies. Inasa, Desam, and slow movements, palms raised, everything by the book. He grabs her shoulder, slams her against the car door. The impact echoes. Her coat tears on the door handle. This car doesn't belong to you. His breath hot on her neck. This is a mistake, she says quietly. Sure it is, sweetheart. He wrenches her arm behind her back. The cuffs bite down too tight. Metal cutting skin. They all say that. He laughs. His partner laughs. She doesn't resist. Inasamasatir atim tiend. Doesn't argue. Tomorrow morning he'll see black robes. His knees will buckle. She states it clearly, calmly, like she's done this 1,000 times before. Officer, this is my vehicle. The registration is valid. I'm Judge Sarah Nelson, Fulton County Circuit Court. You can verify my identity through dispatch. Horton actually laughs. Not a chuckle, a full laugh, like she just told him the funniest joke he's heard all week. Real creative, he says, shaking his head. I'll give you that, Judge. That's a new one. A second patrol car pulls up, lights flashing. No siren, tindandan differis, Sergeant Linda Webb steps out. Mid-40s, 20 years on the force. She surveys the scene with practiced eyes, takes in the Mercedes, takes in Sarah, the expensive coat, the educated diction, the complete lack of panic. Webb walks over to Horton, her boots crunch on the gravel shoulder. You sure about this one? She asks, low voice. Think Sarah can't hear? I'm sure, Horton says. Trust me. Webb nods slowly. Buy the book, then document everything. Translation clear. Cover your ass. Make it stick. Natur deem sakmening sound sen netediningd. Sarah watches this exchange, files it away. These two have done this before. They have a system. May I call my husband? Sarah asks, measured tone, not pleading, just asking. He's an attorney. You'll get your phone call at the station, Horton says, like everyone else. 15 feet behind them, a third officer stands next to his patrol car. Officer Tyler Brooks, 26 years old, 8 months out of the academy. His dash cam is running, has been running since he arrived on scene 3 minutes ago. He says nothing, doesn't move, just stands there with his hand resting on his belt, his face unreadable in the darkness, but his silence is loud, deafening almost. Sarah notices him, makes brief eye contact. He looks away quickly, too quickly. She knows that look, seen it before, moral discomfort, the kind that comes when you know something's wrong but don't know how to stop it. Webb approaches Sarah now, shines her flashlight directly in her face, studying her. Ma'am, we're going to need you to come with us to the station. You can sort all this out there. So, Sort what out? Sarah asks. The car is registered to me. The documents are valid. What am I being charged with? Suspicion of operating a stolen vehicle, Horton says. Too confident, too certain. And will add false impersonation of a public official while we're at it. He's building a case right here, right now, making it bigger than it needs to be. Sarah stops arguing. No point. Not here. Not now. Not with 3 officers and highway traffic rushing past at 70 miles per hour. She'll let the morning speak for her. Horton returns to his patrol car, slides into the driver's seat, punches Sarah's information into the computer. License number, registration, vehicle identification number. He waits, taps his fingers on the steering wheel. Impatient, the radio crackles to life. Unit 52, this is dispatch. Female voice, neutral, professional vehicle Georgia registration. Charlie Mike 5543 comes back, valid to owner Sarah Nelson. Buckhead address, Datunde Ende Dames. Clean record, Quantadizati sen itant. No warrants, no stolen vehicle report on file. You're clear to proceed. Horton stares at the screen. The information doesn't match what he expected, what he was certain he'd find. Webb appears at his window, leans down. Would it come back? Clean, Horton says, but something's still off. Webb nods slowly. Trust your instincts. If it feels wrong, document it. Process her. We'll sort it at the station. In the back of Horton's patrol car, Sarah sits behind the partition, hands cuffed behind her back, uncomfortable. The plastic seat cold through her coat. She heard the entire radio exchange. Every word crystal clear. They know the car isn't stolen. Dispatch just confirmed it, but they're continuing anyway. Her jaw tightens. She's not afraid anymore. She's calculating, planning, thinking 3 moves ahead. Horton exits his vehicle. Sakmanda nasinen sapnetin, war tapnen asmen neldanen min. Walks to the Mercedes with his flashlight, opens the passenger door. Inventory search. Dididadandi desantis. Legal gray area, but he's doing it anyway. He finds her briefcase on the passenger seat. Leather, expensive, embossed initials on the front. And he opens it. Court documents, case files, business cards with her name, letterhead from Fulton County Superior Court. Everything official, everything real. He flips through the papers quickly, sees a case number on one file tab. State versus. Dati andedus eins. Horton. His brain doesn't register it. Horton is a common name. Could be anyone. His ego won't let him see what's right in front of him. Webb walks up to the passenger window. Anything. Horton holds up one of Sarah's business cards. She's got fake judge credentials. Professional job, good quality. Webb examines the card, feels the paper between her fingers, reads the embossed seal. Book her for false impersonation too. Webb says public official impersonation. That's a felony. Sarah's voice comes through the partition. Controlled fury now leaking through her professional composure. Officer Horton, I strongly advise you to verify my identity through the courthouse before you proceed further. This will not end the way you think it will. Horton slams the briefcase shut, returns to the driver's seat. They all try this, he says to Webb. High-end car, fake credentials, probably got a lawyer boyfriend feeding her lines. Webb nods. Dustin so much. Just make sure your report is airtight. Behind them, Officer Brooks shifts his weight foot to foot. He clears his throat once, nervous energy, moral discomfort manifesting physically. His dashcam is still recording, has been recording everything, every word, every movement, every violation. Sarah sees him in the side mirror, notices his body language, the way he stands apart from the other two. Not participating, not stopping it either, but witnessing. She files that away too. Horton starts the engine, pulls onto Interstate 85, heading toward the precinct. Webb follows in her patrol car. Brooks brings up the rear. A convoy of 3 vehicles, lights flashing, no sirens. The 15-minute drive passes in silence. Sarah doesn't speak, doesn't demand her rights, doesn't threaten lawsuits. She's playing a longer game than that. She closes her eyes, not sleeping, thinking. Every lawyer instinct activated, every strategic calculation running. She knows arguing now is futile. Won't change anything. Might make it worse. So she waits, conserves her energy, prepares for the real battle, the one that comes in the morning. They arrive at the precinct. Horton parks in the Sallyport. Webb pulls in beside him. Brooks parks last, still silent, still witnessing everything. Inside, Lieutenant Greg Dresden sits at the booking desk. 51 years old, watch commander for the night shift. He's processing paperwork, multitasking, doesn't look up when they enter. You ran her info through the system? Dresden asks routine question asked by rote. Clean record, Horton says, but the vehicle profile fits the pattern we've been seeing. Luxury car, late night, nervous behavior. Dresden signs the form. Doesn't read it. Doesn't review the details. Just signs and slides it back across the desk. Book her. Process. Let day shift sort it out. That's it. That simple. One signature. No questions asked. Nafashina desanti noquarm. No verification attempted. Sarah is fingerprinted. It's photographed, properly inventoried, her phone, her purse, her keys, her dignity, all placed in a manila envelope. They lead her to a holding cell, small concrete, one metal bench. One other occupant, a woman, drunk and disorderly, asleep on the bench, snoring. Sarah sits on the opposite end, still wearing her $800 coat, still composed, still thinking. The holding cell door closes, metal on metal. The sound echoes down the corridor. She doesn't flinch. They allow her one phone call. Standard procedure. She dials from the wall phone in the corridor. Officer supervising, making sure she doesn't say anything problematic. Her husband answers on the second ring. Ethan Nelson, also an attorney, corporate law, but he knows the system. Ethan, listen carefully. Her voice low, controlled. Don't say anything. Don't come to the station. Don't call anyone. Meet me at the courthouse tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. I'll explain everything then. Trust me. Pause on the other end. He wants to ask questions. She can hear it in his breathing. Are you safe? He finally asks. I will be. I love you. She hangs up, returns to the cell, sits back down on the metal bench. The drunk woman snores. The fluorescent lights buzz. The toilet in the corner drips. Sarah closes her eyes again. Not defeated, not broken. Strategizing, planning, waiting. At his desk, Horton completes his arrest report, types with confidence, feels justified, believes he did his job correctly. He uploads his body cam footage to the server. Notes in the system, video equipment malfunction. Audio only available. The video didn't malfunction. He turned it off deliberately. Standard practice when you don't want everything recorded, but the audio kept running. He doesn't know that. Doesn't check. And doesn't chatsi. Assumes it's all dead. It's not. His voice is captured. Every word, every dismissive laugh, every biased assumption. He finishes the report, logs out, goes home, sleeps well, thinks the case is closed, thinks he won. Tomorrow will teach him otherwise. The case file sits on his desk. The paperwork is filed. The system has processed another arrest. Another black woman, another expensive car, another assumption proven right in his mind. Except this time, he's wrong. Catastrophically wrongs. The file will be read. The footage will be reviewed. The truth will surface, but not yet. Not tonight. Tonight he sleeps. Sarah doesn't. 6 a.m. Sarah is released from holding. A different desk sergeant. Day shift. Unaware of the context. Unaware of everything. Charges pending DA review. He says monotone routine. You're free to go. Sign here for your property. She signs. Takes her phone. Dead battery. Takes her purse, her keys, her dignity returning piece by piece. She walks out of the precinct. The morning air cold on her face. She didn't call Ethan back. Didn't ask for a ride. She'll drive herself. The Mercedes is still parked in the impound lot behind the building. They processed it but didn't hold it. No actual evidence of theft because there was no theft. She gets in, starts the engine, notices the scrapes on the door handle from the handcuffs from being slammed against the metal. Visible damage, permanent reminder. She doesn't react, just notes it. Evidence, physical evidence of excessive force. The drive home is quiet. Interstate 85, same stretch of highway, 30 minutes in early morning traffic. She arrives at her house in Buckhead, colonial style, 2 stories. Ethan's car in the driveway. He didn't sleep either, waited up all night. He opens the door before she reaches it. Relief flooding his face, then anger, then confusion. Allie, what the hell happened? You sounded. Not now, she says. Walks past him into the house. I need to shower. I need to change. Then I'll explain everything. She goes upstairs, strips off the coat, the blouse, the pants. Everything smells like holding cell, concrete, and despair, and institutional cleaning solution. She showers hot water as hot as she can stand, washing away the physical residue, the indignity, the violation, but not the anger that stays, fuels her. She dries off, opens her closet, reaches for her judicial robes, black fabric, heavy, authoritative. She lays them on the bed, looks at them. This is armor. This is power returning. She dresses methodically, each button a reclaiming, each layer a restoration. Ethan waits in the kitchen. Coffee made, 2 cups on the counter. He knows better than to push. She'll talk when she's ready. She comes downstairs, robes folded over her arm. She pours coffee, takes a sip, finally looks at him. Last night, Officer Blake Horton arrested me for driving my own car. He claimed it was stolen. Dispatch confirmed it wasn't. He arrested me anyway, then charged me with impersonating a public official. Ethan's face goes through several expressions: disbelief, rage, calculation. We sue, he says immediately. Federal civil rights violation. I'll have papers filed by number. Her voice firm. Final. Not yet. Ali, they falsely arrested you. I know what it is. She sets down her coffee. But I'm handling this my way. Meet me at the courthouse at 8:45 main courtroom. You'll understand then. He studies her face. Knows that look. Trial face, strategy face. What are you planning, Justice? She says simply. She checks her watch. 7:30 a.m. Anda sindrins. Yaker senas, an hour and 15 minutes until court, until Horton's trial. His excessive force case, the one she's been assigned to for 3 weeks. The one she reviewed yesterday afternoon. The reason she was driving home so late last night. The universe has a sense of irony. She finishes her coffee, gathers her briefcase, the same one Horton rifled through, still containing the same case files, including his. I'll see you at the courthouse, she tells Ethan, kisses his cheek. Trust me. He nods, still confused, but he trusts her. Always has. She drives to the courthouse, parks in the judge's reserved section, walks through the side entrance, avoids the main lobby, doesn't want to see anyone yet, doesn't want to explain. She goes directly to her chambers, locks the door, sits at her desk, opens the case file. State of Georgia versus Blake Horton. She's read it 3 times already. Knows it by heart. Excessive force allegations. 17-year-old kid named Jordan Williams. Traffic stop that went wrong. Horton's knee on the kid's back. Disproportionate response. Pattern of behavior. She reads it a 4th time with new eyes. Personal eyes. Victim eyes. Desasidi and Minderzid. Because now she's not just the judge, she's evidence. She's Exhibit A in a pattern she didn't know she'd become part of. Her phone buzzes. Nam enter and die ad. Text from the Bife. Courtroom ready. Party's arriving. She stands, puts on her robes, checks her reflection in the small mirror on her wall. Composed, professional, no sign of last night's ordeal. But underneath, beneath the robes and the composure and the professional mask, rage, cold, calculating, patient, she's about to walk into that courtroom, about to sit on that bench, about to see the officer who arrested her 10 hours ago, and he has no idea. None. She picks up her gavel, feels the weight of it, the authority, the power. She doesn't call a lawyer to sue. She doesn't need one. She is the law. And in 15 minutes, Officer Blake Horton is going to learn what that means. 48 hours earlier, before any of this started, before the arrest, before the cascade, Officer Tyler Brooks stands at attention. Police Academy graduation. His father beside him, first-generation immigrant, came from Ireland 30 years ago with nothing. Built a construction business, put 3 kids through college. His father grips his shoulder, pride in his eyes, but something else too. Concern, caution. You became an officer so people like us would be safe. Yeah. His father's accent still thick after 3 decades. Good. Now be the officer we needed when we first came here. Not the one we feared. Promise me, Tyler promises. Nonsight. Doesn't fully understand the weight of those words yet. He will. Present 2 a.m. Same night as Sarah's arrest. Tyler sits in the precinct locker room, exhausted but wired. Can't sleep. Can't stop thinking about what he witnessed. He pulls out his personal tablet, opens the file transfer from his patrol car's dash cam system. Department policy allows officers to review footage for report writing. Standard procedure. Sender entendido. He watches the Mercedes pulled over. Spotlight activation. Horton approaching. His body language. Aggressive. Assumption already made before any interaction. Sarah's hands on the steering wheel. Visible compliance. Textbook. Documents presented immediately. No fumbling, no delay, no resistance. Horton barely looks, dismisses them, escalates without cause. Tyler notices something else. Critical detail timestamp shows Horton put Sarah in handcuffs before dispatch confirmation came back. Protocol violation. You're supposed to wait for clearance before arrest. He didn't wait. Tyler watches the footage 3 more times. Each viewing confirms what he already knows. This was wrong. Not a mistake, not a judgment call. Wrong. 7 a.m. Morning briefing. Tyler arrives early. Coffee station in the corner. Officers gathering. Nitzer D's. Shift change. Day crew replacing night crew. He overhears Horton and Webb. Low voices. Unnamed. Think they're being discreet. They're not. IA might ask questions about last night. Webb says casual tone like she's discussing the weather. Just routine follow-up on arrest. Let them ask. Horton pours creamer into his coffee. Stirs. I followed procedure. She matched the profile we've been trained to watch for. Right. Webb nods. Tirtati kirdi nd. Just be specific in your wording when you document furtive movements, suspicious behavior. You know the drill. Tyler freezes, cup halfway to his mouth. He's listening to them coordinate a story, workshop their language, cover their asses. They've done this before. This is practiced. Systematic. His father's words echo in his head. Be the officer we needed, not the one we feared. Tyler dumps his coffee untouched, walks out of the briefing room, goes to his patrol car, sits in the driver's seat, hands on the steering wheel, mirroring Sarah's position last night without realizing it. Student loan payment notice on his dashboard. $842 due. His paycheck barely covers it. Plus rent, plus his parents' medical bills, his father's back surgery last year. Still paying that off. He needs this job desperately. 8 months in, still probationary. They can fire him without cause, without recourse, but his father's voice won't leave his head. Be the officer we needed. Tyler starts his car, doesn't go on patrol, drives to the Internal Affairs office, different building, 3 miles across town, separate from the main precinct, intentionally isolated. 8:15 a.m. He parks, sits in the car another 10 minutes, debating, calculating, knowing what this might cost. He goes inside. Detective Latoya Riley sits at her desk. 15 years in internal affairs. Seen everything. Heard every excuse, every lie, every cover-up. Cynical but fair. Tough but just. She looks up when Tyler enters. Recognizes him. Rookie. Ascender. Aning das Sils. 8 months. Editasen non-certain. Practically still a kid. Officer Brooks. She says, "What can I do for you? Motini." Tyler doesn't sit. Stands in her doorway, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Still deciding. I witnessed something last night. He says, traffic stop. Officer Horton. Tatiader dandi intini. I think there was misconduct. Ines surindendeci in messe. Riley's expression doesn't change, but her attention sharpens. You think or you know? I have dash cam footage. Let me see it. Tyler hesitates. Can this be anonymous? Riley leans back in her chair, studies him, sees the fear, the moral struggle, the career calculations. She's seen it before. Officers wanting to do right, but terrified of consequences. I can accept evidence through our anonymous digital Dropbox, she says carefully. Upload the file. Include timestamp and location. I'll take it from there. Tyler nods, pulls out his tablet, uses the office guest Wi-Fi, uploads the file, types a brief note. Traffic stop 11 quarters 23 43 hours. I-85 mile marker 52. Officer Horton. Autostrada and sa. Possible misconducts. My conscience can't let this go. He hits send. The file uploads. Progress bar 90%. 95-100 complete. Riley's computer chimes. Inatindi and then enduri. New file received. You say nerfas? Define der form. She opens it, watches the video. Her jaw tightens progressively as she watches. Professional mask slipping. She pauses when Sarah's face is visible in the spotlight. Zooms in. Recognition flashes across her face. Officer Brooks. Her voice changed. Sharper, more urgent. Inasinita de sam ond. Do you know who this woman is? No, ma'am. I said your dut. I'd tell, should I? Riley stares at him, calculating, deciding how much to say. You will, she says finally. Everyone will very soon. She stands, walks to her office door, looks down the hallway, makes sure no one is listening. You did the right thing coming to me. This stays confidential. Go back to work. Act normal. Say nothing to anyone. Understood? Yes, ma'am. Brooks. She stops him as he's leaving. Your conscience did you credit. Don't lose that. Tyler walks out of internal affairs, gets back in his patrol car. His hands shake as he starts the engine. Adrenaline, fear, relief, all mixed together. He did the right thing. It might cost him everything, but he did it. He drives back to the precinct, logs in for his shift, acts normal like Riley instructed, goes on patrol, responds to calls, writes tickets. Everything routine, but nothing feels routine anymore. Back in her office, Riley locks the door, plays the footage again, watches Sarah's compliance. Horton's aggression, Webb's approval, the whole thing documented in perfect digital clarity. She picks up her phone, direct line to Captain Reed, Webb's supervisor, one level up the chain of command. Captain, it's Riley. We need to talk today before 9 a.m. It's urgent. Pause. She can hear him sipping coffee. Morning routine interrupted. How urgent? Career-ending urgent, and it involves Judge Sarah Nelson. Another pause longer this time. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Riley hangs up, opens her case management software, creates a new file, marks it priority, confidential. She begins documenting timestamps, screenshots, chain of custody for the evidence. She's done this for 15 years. Investigated dozens of officers, seen patterns, seen cover-ups, seen the system protect its own. But this one is different. This one has a judge involved. A judge who was arrested hours before presiding over her arresting officer's trial. This one will explode. She makes another call directly to the police chief, bypassing the chain, warranted by the circumstances. Chief, it's Riley. You need to be in courtroom 3 this morning at 9 a.m. Don't ask questions. Just be there and bring your phone. You'll want to document this. She hangs up before he can respond.